Hello, my friends. Happy Saturday. You know what time it is. Time for me to talk about 3 candles, 3 beauty or lifestyle products that I have been using throughout this week and share some feedback with you. If you're coming across my channel for the first time, hi, I'm Katie. This is a weekly series that I started back in January because, quite frankly, I have a lot of new products seeming to come into my collection, both candles and beauty. More so candles, I would say. Those seem to be coming into my collection in and out more than the beauty products because by nature, candles can be consumed a little bit quicker. Anyways, the releases seem to be coming so quickly that it is very difficult for me to stay on top of everything in real time. And so I thought that this would be a way that I could give you kind of some more real-time feedback on how products are working for me. So if you find that kind of content interesting and want to stick around, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. But let's go ahead and dive into the products that I was reviewing or consuming this week. The first product that I want to talk about is one that, I'm sorry you guys, I have a hair in my face here. This curly hair, it's like, doing its own thing. All right, the first product that I want to talk about this week is a candle, and it is from Homeworx Candles. This is their banana chocolate chip banana pancakes. This is from Homeworx. This is in conjunction or in support of the Next for Autism Foundation. So I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit about that foundation for you. What is printed here on the label, it says, Next for Autism, co-founded by Harry and Laura Slatkin, believes that individuals with autism deserve to live fulfilling, productive lives, supported by excellent services and connected to their communities. Next for Autism addresses the needs of autistic adults across the country through the creation and support of exceptional educational, clinical, and vocational programs with an eye towards affecting fundamental shifts in current approaches to autism services. So the fragrance notes on this are fresh ripe banana, dark chocolate chips, vanilla pancake batter, and brown butter. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So this fragrance or this candle was released, actually, I want to say it was last September or October of 2022. I can't remember exactly, but I do know that I purchased it when it came out and I held on to it and didn't burn it until recently because this is a fragrance to me. I am a seasonal burner, if you are new, that just is more of a summertime fragrance. Now, when I purchased it, I was in the midst of burning all things apple and pumpkin because I was quite frankly over summer by that point. Put it aside and decided to start burning it this year. Now, the reason that this candle or this cause is important to me, and I honestly don't talk a whole lot about my family or my personal life here on YouTube because I have chosen to be on YouTube. My children and my husband, well, sometimes they choose to come on here with me. This channel is not really about them. However, this is a cause that I wanted to share with you and why it is personal to me because it is Autism Awareness Month. We are winding down the month of April, and for our family, we are like many where our lives have been directly impacted by somebody we love being diagnosed with autism. For me, it was my son. It is my son. My son was diagnosed with autism when he was 2 years old. He is now 11 years old, and he is thriving, you guys. He is doing so well. And I just wanted to take a very quick moment to maybe give a little word of encouragement if you are finding yourself in a situation where maybe you are raising a special needs child, or maybe you're seeing characteristics in either a child or a grandchild, a friend's child, that you're saying, you know what, I think something maybe there needs to be an evaluation done. I would just encourage you to follow that instinct. For me, the red flags started coming up when my son was about 18 months old. There were some quirks now looking back that I'm like, oh yes, that would have been an indicator. But one of the things that we do know about autism, especially when it relates to children, is that the earlier we can get a diagnosis and services for them, the greater chances we give of helping that child or that person, I don't want to say rewire their brain because it makes it sound like they're broken. They're not broken. I'm going to tell you, my goodness, my son is one of the most intelligent human beings I know. He's quirky, but I love him. But the earlier that you can get services for an individual with autism, I would say that their path becomes a little bit broader. They have a little bit more opportunity available to them. And so I would just encourage you, don't be afraid of pursuing a diagnosis if something is going off inside of you, saying that this needs to be looked at further. For us, I am so thankful that we followed through. I remember when my son received his diagnosis, our psychologist was great, and she told us, she said, you know what, this diagnosis does not define your son. It is simply a tool that opens up doors for him to get help. And it also gives you the tools to be able to help understand him a little bit better and to help him. And I think that that was one of the greatest things or pieces of advice that we got as parents to a child, that so many questions were just there for the future. Don't skip ahead into the future too much, and don't let your mind run away with it, because I'm just going to tell you that, you know, for me, it's been a lot of prayer. God has been so good in placing the right people around us. We've had, obviously, we have wonderful family. We have great friends. We've had wonderful speech therapists and occupational therapists and physicians, and just so many people that have been so helpful. His teachers, so many things. And you guys, my son is thriving. He's still quirky. There's still some things that sometimes I'm like, oh, there it is. Okay, we need to work on that a little bit. But, you know, they are just truly unique and special human beings. And this process of raising a child with special needs has been taxing. Going to be very honest with you, at times it is very, very taxing. I always say it's like parenting on steroids. But it has also been extremely humbling and beautiful and rewarding. And I'm not going to go on anymore because it will make me cry. But just very, very thankful that sometimes the hard things we can be thankful for in life. And my son, I love him to pieces. And I'm just very, very thankful that God chose me to be his mom, because it's really given me a more compassionate heart towards other people. So now that that spiel is out of the way, let's go ahead and actually talk about this candle. So my nose smells banana right off the bat with this candle. However, it's not, I would say it's similar to the banana that's used in the banana daiquiri fragrance. It's a nice banana. It's not overly like Runts candy banana to my nose. I wouldn't say it's the most authentic banana, which quite frankly, if you smell bananas on their own, unless they're like overripe, they don't really necessarily produce a very strong fragrance. I do get some of that gourmand buttery pancake note in here. However, I don't find this, like, what was the other, the banana maple pancakes, which was a divine scent from Homeworx. I actually have a few more in my backup stash. This is different than the banana maple pancakes. There's no maple note in here. It's definitely those like buttery pancakes with banana. Banana's the most dominant. Then I would say I smell the pancake note. The chocolate chip note does come out a little bit in here, like a dark chocolate. And chocolate's kind of a funny scent for me because I can find it to smell almost like an ashtray sometimes, and I don't get that from here. It's very, very lightly and nicely in the background on this one. I really, really like this fragrance. Now, what I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to caution you with the performance of this specific candle, and the reason I'm going to give you this information, you'll hear why. Okay, so the pour date of this candle is July 9th of 2022. Now, if you have been here with me for a while, we all know my feelings about June and July 2022 pour dates. I do think that something was going on in the factory, or the quality of the wicks, or something was going on, because pretty much every candle I have from Homeworx, I think I've only had one candle with a pour date in between those times actually performed well for me. The rest of them have had performance issues. So I will say that this candle really struggled to pull out for me. In fact, I had it lit for 5 hours the first time, and it did not pull out, you know, completely to the rim. Again, I'm going to throw this one a bone, I think, because of it being the bad pour date. So what I want to say is that if you are interested in this candle, I would go ahead and say order it, especially because I am pre-filming this, and as of today, I do know that this candle is 40% off on the homeworx.shop website. There is, I think that's listed for $18. Also, I have some exciting news to share with you guys at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, this one was going for $18 today. I would say that likely what you would purchase today would be a later pour date, and so your performance is likely going to be a lot better. Even with my like pulling out struggles with this one and the wicks, I mean, I ended up having to like pour out a little bit of the wax to kind of correct the wicks on this one. Even with those issues, I would say that this candle is a good medium strength and throw. It's been about a 5 for me. I have found it to be a little bit more effective when I am burning it in my closed concept master bedroom. For reference, if you're haven't seen any of my candle reviews, I try to give this to you. I live in a 1,700 square foot single story home. I have high open ceilings in my living room and my kitchen, and then the bedrooms are more of a closed concept lower ceiling. So that's why I try to tell you how they perform differently. I feel like this fragrance gets a little bit lost in my living room, but it does well in my bedroom. And again, that could just be a byproduct of the specific pour date for this candle. So just wanted to put that out there. All right, so now that that was the candle that, or the product that I had the longest spiel about, I am going to have to kind of pick up the pace here on some of the other products. So let's go ahead and talk about a beauty product that I picked up recently. Now, if you caught my Sephora wish list video, I gave a little bit of a spoiler alert that this was a product that was on my wish list, but the brand itself had a better discount available prior to the Sephora sale, so I went ahead and picked it up at that time. This is the Makeup Forever. This is, what is this? Okay, that's all in French right there. Their 24-hour undetectable blurring powder foundation. Now, I picked mine up in the shade 2N22, which looks very, very dark, but I promise you, it is actually a good match for my summer skin tone. So I do self-tan in the summertime or as we approach warmer weather, because gone are the days when I used to go into the tanning bed foolishly and ruin my skin. So because I use self-tanner, then I typically, I need a darker foundation for that time of the year. And I have to say, you guys, this foundation, I know it's been receiving a lot of hype online, and sometimes you don't know what to believe, what not to believe. This is a good one. This is a very, very good powder foundation. Now, I like that this is very travel friendly. So if you have some trips or travel planned for this summer, like me, I do, this is so friendly for travel. Now, I have been applying it with this little makeup sponge that comes in it. I mean, it already looks dirty, but this sponge, the way I go on and I apply it on, I find that the coverage is a good medium to medium full coverage. It's a very, very nice foundation. I will say that I always wear a primer with it. I am wearing the Hourglass Vanish Primer. I've talked about that one. You guys know that's one of my favorite products that I have discovered this year. And I also usually set it with a setting spray. Currently, I'm using the Benefit Professional. And the finish and the lasting power has been very, very good. This product is worth the money in my opinion. I mean, I hate saying it's worth the money because that's so subjective, but in my opinion, for my financial state, I do believe that this product has been worth the money because of its ease of travel usage. I find that it doesn't settle into any kind of like fine lines around here. I'm not finding it that it fades. Typically, I will find that my cheeks honestly fade the most because I typically have a phone up against it, or I'm bad about touching my face during the day. This has been a very, very nice product. Would highly, highly recommend it if you have had your eye on it. All right, another candle that I picked up, and I thought about filming a haul video, but then I thought, no, I only picked up a couple of candles, and quite frankly, I just haven't had the time to film that. So the candle that I am talking about is Juicy Strawberry from the Kringle Reserve line. Now, this did come back into stock a couple of weeks ago. As of the day that I am filming this, it is still currently in stock. This is one that I initially passed up on because strawberry scents and I can kind of have a love-hate relationship. I either really enjoy them, but for a little while there, after I had had the C virus, strawberry scents just came off very funny to my nose, and they still do in many, many ways. But I heard so much hype about this one and saw that it sold out that the curiosity got the best of me. This fragrance is so good, you guys. Now, this is not, I think I was intrigued, and what I'm smelling is the same thing that people have told me. This is a strawberry scent, but it's not a fake strawberry scent. This is very much a strawberry off the vine type of fragrance. In fact, I don't have the fragrance notes in front of me. I will make sure that everything I talk about is linked in the description box down below. But this, I think that they say that there's like a tomato vine note or tomato plant note, something like that is in here. And oh my goodness, it is absolutely, oh, it is so good. This is a very fresh strawberry fragrance. It is so delicious. Burn on it, burn quality has been the amazing, you know, the amazing experience I've had with pretty much all of my Kringle 100% soy candles, especially in this 2-wick tumbler style jar. It is just a flawless burn. No soot residue, nothing. It's beautiful. Strength and throw on this one, I've only burned it a couple of times, and honestly, I had the windows open when I did that, so that's kind of, you know, that can impact your strength and throw, especially because my windows are pretty close to where I am burning my candle. I would say that the strength and throw on this one upon initial burns is around a 7, which is my sweet spot. That's typically where I like it to be. I like a 7 to 8. I don't want to be bowled over with fragrance, but I definitely want to be able to smell it. This one is so good, and it's especially great for pairing with a lot of other berry scented candles that are very popular for this time of year. So if you are interested in this one, I do have a discount code with Kringle because I am a Kringle ambassador. 15% discount with the code JOYFULLIFE. If you choose to use that, that is an affiliate code, and it supports my channel. I make a very small commission on that. All right, let's go ahead and talk about another beauty product that kind of ties into the foundation that I was just talking about. This is the BK Beauty 105 brush. Now you look at this and you think, Katie, that is one heck of a brush, isn't it? Well, I will say this brush has become my very favorite brush for applying powder foundation. It is dense without being too firm. It's big. This is perfect for buffing in powder foundation. So one of the hesitancies I think that a lot of people have with powder foundation is that they're afraid that it's going to look powdery on the skin, right? And I think it was many years ago, I think it was Shelby Wilson talking about, because she knows a lot about Bare Minerals, and that's kind of like the brand that kind of brought powder foundation to the forefront. And basically their formula, how it starts to look more skin-like instead of looking like powder sitting on the skin, the technique that you have to use is you have to take the time to buff in the foundation. And so this brush has been perfect for buffing in my powder foundation. I have used this with the Makeup Forever foundation. I also recently purchased the Jane Iredale powder foundation. Spoiler alert, that one is also very good, and I will include that in another Saturday 6 at some point. But this foundation brush, how I have been using it this week is I have been applying my powder foundation, that Makeup Forever one, with the sponge that comes in the case. I go ahead and I apply it onto my face, and then I go in with this brush, I go in with this brush and I go ahead and just buff and buff and buff. And I honestly take about 20 seconds just buffing it in. Those buffing foundation, or that buffing technique, warms up the product, so that way it almost, I don't want to say it develops like a creamy consistency because that sounds kind of gross, but it works with that natural friction, starts making your foundation just kind of appear more skin-like. It is a great technique. I do know, I do know from past experience, the past couple of years, BK Beauty does typically run a sale around Mother's Day, which is quickly approaching us. So if you have had your eye on any BK Beauty brushes, or maybe if you're looking at this one, I would say let's just wait and see if there's any good sales coming up on it, because I would highly recommend this brush. I would honestly highly recommend any of the BK Beauty brushes. I absolutely love them. I honestly, they are a little bit more pricey, but ever since I have started using them, they have pretty much, I could get rid of every other brush in my collection and just have BK Beauty brushes because they are that good to me. I also like supporting a fellow YouTuber. Quite frankly, I love supporting Lisa J. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with who she is. She has a huge YouTube channel, but she just seems like one of the kindest people, and I've actually learned a lot about applying makeup from her. And also, you know, it's a small American business, so I do like supporting that. All right, let's go ahead and talk about my last candle, which is a newer release from Homeworx. This is Root Beer Float. So this has that label that I'm not exactly crazy about. I wish they would have just gone with the full picture label, but that's all right, life goes on. The fragrance notes on this are root beer, anise, sparkling ginger, vanilla bean, and crystallized sugar. Now my pour date on this one is October 8th of 2022. I always include that in here because I do believe that in the past couple of years, there have been some variations of performance with Homeworx candles depending upon the pour date. And I think you're gonna actually notice that when I talk about this candle compared to the one that I had with the banana or the chocolate chip banana pancakes. All right, so this candle to me, it's funny. It smells just like what the candle is supposed to be. This smells like a root beer float. This is a very unique fragrance. I have not smelled many other candle brands going into the realm of root beer float. This one is also, well, I hope the sale is still going on. This one is currently, as the day that I am filming this, on sale for $18. All of the gourmand scents are on sale at homeworx.shop. I hope still. If not, sorry, there will probably always be another sale, but this one is currently included in the sale. This is very authentic root beer float. I get a little bit of that creamy note of the ice cream in the background. There's even an element of here that I smell that carbonation that you would get, you know, when the bubbles kind of mix with the ice cream and you get those like creamy looking bubbles on there. Root beer for sure. You get that ginger, that anise, that, I mean, root beer is definitely for sure. Here's the thing I'm going to tell you guys. I love to drink root beer occasionally. I actually don't really drink soda a whole lot, but when I do, it's generally root beer. I don't think I really like my house smelling like root beer. And I've realized that every time I burn this, I'm kind of like, I don't think I really like the smell of this one. It's not, so what I want to say is that this fragrance, if you are looking for a genuine root beer fragrance and you love the smell of root beer, you are going to love this one. It has been a very strong performer for me. I will say that it took a little bit longer to pull out, which is something that I'm finding with some of these Homeworx candles, especially like the October pour dates. I'm finding that my candles that have September or October of 2022 pour dates, they're still taking a little bit longer to pull out. I would say make sure that you have about 5 hours set aside when you initially light them to let them develop into a full pull, because otherwise they're not going to pull all the way out and you might have some issues. But then successive burns have always been, they pull out a lot quicker. So just saying that, strength and throw has been pretty good on this one. I would give this one a solid 8. It's a medium high strength and throw for me. I can definitely smell it all throughout my living room, all throughout my kitchen, even trying to start going into the bedroom. Now I did purchase the vanilla bean ice cream at the same time, and I do find that I like burning those together because it does kind of give a little bit more vanilla to that root beer fragrance, but it's a good fragrance. It's very strong. I just think it's probably going to be a one and done candle for me just because I don't particularly want my home to smell like root beer. All right, and then the final beauty product that I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because I have talked about this on my channel before, but because we are coming into warmer weather, especially where I live here in Arizona, we are actually supposed to have mid 90-degree temperatures this weekend. So yeah, we just seem to go straight over spring, I guess. We're going into summer, but the temperatures will cool down a little bit after that. Regardless, it's close to about 80, 85 degrees here every day. So guess what is being busted out? The old self-tanner. And my favorite is the St. Tropez. What is this? Self-Tan Express Bronzing Mousse. Now, I have been using this for years. I have tried a couple of other self-tanners and I always go back to this one. And the reason I go back to this one is A, I like that it's got a little bit more of that green base color guard, so I am able to see where I am applying it. I do always apply this with a mitt. I typically like kind of a velvet mitt. I get it from Ulta. I'll make sure that I link it down below so that way you guys know what one I'm talking about. I use a velvet mitt when I apply. I also use an old powder brush to kind of just go alongside my ankles and over my knees. I make sure that I apply lotion only to my elbows, my knees, and the tops of my feet. I do not apply lotion to the rest of my body prior to applying this. I like to apply this at night, and then I will usually put a loose nightgown on over it, sleep in it overnight, and then get up in the morning and rinse off the color guard. That has been the most effective way for me to get the best tan without getting like tan lines, or without worrying about, I'm going about my day and now the hose splattered on me, or I was giving my kids a bath and now it messes it up, because while the tan is developing, you cannot get your skin wet. So that is how I typically like to go about using it. The other thing that I like about this is that when this tan fades, it is not patchy or splotchy. I've tried other self tanners where as the tan fades throughout the week, you'll see like patches on my skin where there was self tanner, and then it's like, oh, and then there's her natural skin color. So I like that this one fades very naturally on me. This specific size I picked up last year during the Nordstrom anniversary sale, and actually I believe that it is still in stock. For that price, I paid $49, but this size jar or bottle is 13.5 fluid ounces. So this is a pretty decent size. I want to say that this is like an $88 value, and it's listed at Nordstrom for $49. They also sell this at Ulta, Sephora, I mean, all the places that you can find a lot of beauty products, but it has been my favorite one year after year. So my exciting news that I just wanted to share with you guys before I wrap up this video is that I learned that, about a week ago, that I was approved into the Homeworx Ambassador program. Now, you guys know it's not going to change my opinion about, being honest with you guys about these candles. And being approved into the Ambassador program is actually really helpful for a lot of us in the candle community who, I hate the term influencers, but like that we are providing content related to candles. A lot of the perks of becoming an ambassador for that is so that we have a little bit more insider information about new releases. It also gives us the opportunity sometimes to receive things in PR because, I don't know if you know this, candles can get expensive, and we want to be able to share that information with all of you. And we do make a little bit of a commission sometimes when we get on that ambassador list. To be honest with you guys, it's not anything amazing or huge, but it is really helpful because for me personally, I know that I take that little bit of income and I usually use it to reinvest into purchasing some other candles so that way I can continue to provide content for you. So I wanted to let you guys know that I am now a Homeworx ambassador. I do have a discount code of 10% off your purchases over $40. My code is Katie's Joyful Life, and I just want to say thank you if you choose to use it. You don't have to. If you don't want to, you're still welcome here. I'll still love you. It's fine. But I know that there's quite a few of us, and so that is just my exciting news. Like I said, you guys got it real from me on 2 of these Homeworx candles. Not everything is going to be a wonderful hit for me, but you guys know, if you've been with me for a while, that I have been a fan of the brand for a long time. I've been pretty loyal through the ups and the downs. I have not held back. So I just want to say thank you so much to Homeworx for allowing me to represent their brand, and I'm looking forward to new things in the future. So that's my exciting announcement for this week. Let me know in the comment box down below, what have you been using this week? And if you've used any of these products, can you give me some of your feedback? There is a whole community that goes on reading those comments. It's not just me, and you are an important member of our little community that we have going on over here. I want to say thank you so much for spending your time here with me today. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you found this video helpful. Subscribe if you're new, and I just want to say that I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.